Hey there. Today is Sunday, October 5th, 2025, and you're tuning in to episode 9 of the Unfiltered podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Anderson. The internet knows me as Tyler Liger. I'm flying solo today. I think Ed's now on a little 3-week vacay. I don't think he minds. And then Sweeze is on a little bit of a hiatus. He's just got to sort his things out. And then when he's ready to come back, we're ready to take him back in. So, easy enough. Just me today. No guests. Just flying solo. We're going to make it short and sweet. But if you haven't, be sure to like and subscribe. We would really appreciate it. So, thank you in advance. But tell you what, man, I've had a busy week. I think it all started probably like last Friday. Probably last Friday or so. And I think I had, I have to remember. I had a game. So at Highland Park, I saw a really good game between Dimmitt and Highland Park. Came down to the final drive. And then the next day, I was kicking out a story, and I was boarding on a plane going to Iowa. I had to go pick up mom and the dogs, and I flew in. It wasn't too bad. We had a nice supper. Had a big ol' hunk of pork, like a big pork chop. It's like a huge deal pork chop. Yeah. I mean, it's Iowa. If you're in Iowa, you either got to have the tenderloin or you got to have a pork chop. And, oh, man, pork chops. I mean, if you go to the right place, they're so tender and so scrumptious. I'm not above eating a pig. But then Sunday, spent time with the folks. Was there for a little bit. We did a little bit of winter prep work for the house up north, and then not exactly first thing, but it was halfway decent time. And I'm kind of quiet. I'll project a little more. I lean a little closer like this, but I'm literally eating the mic right now. But I ended up starting off. It was a nice long drive. Took me through the heart of Kansas City on the drive home, and I dread Kansas City. I really do, man. I really dread Kansas City when I have to drive through it or drive around it. It's just such a pain. I'd rather, Dallas-Fort Worth is kind of bad. Houston can be rough sometimes, especially when it's like a driving rainstorm and you can't really exactly see like what's in front of you. And then people are driving like 80 miles per hour like past you because, well, they know the landscape better than you can. But to be honest with you, no, sir. But yeah, I mean, clear skies, nothing but sun and partly cloudy weather just the entire way down. And we got back pretty late. But it was a long day. And then I remember when I got home, I was sicker than a dog. So I spent Tuesday like just absolutely just like, I don't know, like kind of barfing my, man, not really. I mean, I spent that night really not feeling really well. I could joke on here that it came out of both ends. It came out of both ends, and then I mean, this isn't the unfiltered podcast, right? I can be a little more unfiltered. That's why we have the disclaimer when we start the stream. Um, but it was it was great. It was just not so great for me. Makes for great content later that you can look back at and laugh. But yeah, it came out both ends, and then I kind of felt the hangover on Tuesday from like 13 hours of driving and 13 hours of driving, and then getting sick on top of that. So got nobody to blame on me getting sick. I just got sick, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday I worked, and then on top of that I drove down to Lubbock, went to go get Monterey Coronado. Kind of a snooze fest. I mean, I tell you what, by the end of Friday night, I was scrambled eggs, man. My mind was like, I was starting to see double. I was, I'd like, how like if you get really tired, you start getting like tunnel vision. That's how it is. That's how it goes, man. But yeah, it's kind of it's different, but it's all good. Um, Big shout out to Houston McCain for being our latest subscriber. Just want to air that out. I'm sure he subscribed after Squared Circle Pro's birth anniversary, where we had a little table and we learned some lessons. We learned that on the positive side, hey, we're welcome back at any time. Also, it helps to have like some identifiers. It doesn't help that it's just like, there's pens there. It's like we gave away some pens, we gave away some business cards, but not a lot. We did get a shout out during birth anniversary, but the video got taken down. I remember, I think I was trying to find the video with Draven Reeves last time. And yeah, that was no bueno. But yeah, man, it's okay. I mean, they made statements about it. If you're interested, I can direct you towards those statements. But I mean, it's all good. I mean, it was just good to have Draven on and have him talk about things. But we learned some lessons. We're gonna come back with like a better booth, I think, this time. We'll have like the little table stands. Like we'll have little table stands. Those are really cool with our QR code. That'll be really neat. I got to do graphic work on that. For those who don't know, for all the thumbnails and all the kind of the aesthetics of the channel, that's all me. That's all me. I get some really great feedback from Ed. I get some great feedback from Sweeze. I get some great feedback from Rick and plenty more folks that like to weigh in. However, I don't. Let me erase that. However, let's say this. We take all that feedback and we work towards making a better experience. Sometimes like people, if you're a guest, you're going to tune in with your phone, right? If you're, I have like a master setup like right in front of me. So that's why I'm able to look halfway decent. I hopefully sound halfway decent. I realized in the first few episodes I was really quiet, which is okay. That's okay. I mean, you can be kind of quiet. I did see some comments from the previous shows. Shout out to Ray. You can never go wrong with Ray. I have plenty of Ray stories. Do we need to share some Ray stories today? I think we'll be okay. And then so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday worked. Went down to Lubbock for Monterey Coronado, and then last night it was West Texas A&M's homecoming game against Sul Ross State. It was a pretty easy win for West Texas A&M. They defeated the Lobos 56-7. That game was essentially over by halftime. Fun to take part in those those things, even if you're just on the sideline and you're just taking photos. It was worth it. And Bain Schaefer, if you haven't been there, if you're into sports ball, please go. It is a fantastic facility. Very blessed. I wish we had a really cool stadium like that when I was in school. Yeah, I wish we had that when I was in school, but beggars can't be choosers, and to be honest with you, and I don't want to really stretch anything too much. I was giving my updates. Kale was like, my good friend Kale Steed, founder of Press Pass Sports. He's like, here's what you got for Thursday. I'm like, cool. All right. So really neat. So I already know what I got going on. So we'll have a schedule up later on tonight. Yeah, I'll have a schedule up later on tonight. We'll be back maybe full throttle next week. I think I'll pull Ed from his vacation. I'll be like, hey, Ed, I think it's time to come back. It's time to come back, Ed. Come home, Ed. That might leave me. We'll see. We'll see what. I do want to do a little bit of promotion on October 11th. Lubbock Pro Wrestling has its own brand of Oktoberfest. I have the poster. I know I'm not super excited. I'm just chill today. But yeah, October Slam. Oh, do you guys see it? There we go. October Slam. Yeah. At Mano Negra Brewing Company, 708 13th Street in Lubbock. It's 7 p.m. Saturday, October 11th. So it would be this Saturday. So yeah, if you're in Lubbock and you want to have a good time, that's where to go. Hey Rick, thanks for joining me. I always appreciate you dropping in. I just put a plug for Lubbock Pro Wrestling 101's October Slam, their own version of Oktoberfest. So if you're in the mood for some customized brews and some good grappling, by all means, make the trip to Lubbock. Especially if you're in Amarillo. It's straight shot right down I-27, and pretty cool. Not every day where you can actually have a wrestling show in a brewery, but yeah. And then and Rick will be there too. So if you're if you want to say hello to Rick or you want to read him the riot act, he'll be there. But I think it's going to be a fantastic show. We'll see. We'll see what's on my schedule. And then on Friday, I'll be at Spearman at Sunray. Okay, that's. I haven't been to Sunray in a long time, so it would be good to be there, especially after the windstorm really took out most of their stadium on August 3rd. There was pretty devastating winds, knocked out the press box, just strewn wood all over the place. I guess I got my schedule already set up, and no complaints for me. No complaints. I'm being put to work. That's all that matters. And then, Not too bad. I haven't really been keeping up on wrestling stuff as of late. I usually rely on like Sweeze to kind of do that job for me. I mean, I got Rick and chat, so Rick can also fill me in if there was anything seismic. I think we're kind of just in a holding pattern until we get to some larger events, especially Survivor Series in November. Yeah, it's usually around Thanksgiving when they have it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that, we're already in October and we got this started in August. I mean, we're only 9 episodes in. It doesn't sound like very much, but it'll be good. It'll be good, man. Do we want some music in the background? I mean, I feel like it's all nice and quiet. Usually if I have Ed, it's not so bad. I'll bring it up just a little bit. There we go. Put on some lo-fi, brought to you by the Relaxed Movement. Okay, Tuesday is NXT versus TNA Showdown on CW, 7 p.m. Oh, that should be very entertaining. I believe in Joe Hendry. Do you? I feel like Joe Hendry's kind of cooled off a little bit since SummerSlam, when he actually... Was it SummerSlam? Yeah, he was at SummerSlam. And then he was at WrestleMania. Or was he? Yeah, he was at WrestleMania for sure. He had Randy Orton. And then I think maybe he got involved in SummerSlam. I don't remember. Gotta love my memory. It's just scrambled eggs right now. If all else fails, like I run out of things to say, I could just say shout out Sumo Dog, and I get like maybe Sweeze and Paul and Thugless pop it in and give me the old shout out Sumo Dog right on back. I do have some guests on tap. I did reach out to a few interested parties. It's just about schedules. One of them is somebody that I go way back with. And then there's another one that's kind of from the comedy podcasting scene. I reached out and I said, hey, you can reach out to me, and you can reach out to me about any time. I'll put you on a schedule and we'll get you on. It's just, it burns like 2 hours at, about an hour and a half out of your Sunday and then 2 hours at most. I know when we had Rick on, Rick and I go way back, so we ended up talking for quite some time, and just the stories are always just so great. I love them. I mean, the stories from the warehouse, some of the best SCP things, SCP storylines. Some of them I was there for, some of them I wasn't exactly there. Like when there was the big when there was like there was a lot going on, and then kind of, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate for the LC administration. I think chaos is a good thing. People love chaos, and I think there's a method to the madness. So I'm buying what they're selling. I'm buying it. I'm sure Rick will appreciate that. I'm buying what they're selling. Sometimes you gotta make some dirty deals to get some stuff done, and you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. So, but I also see the other side. I go way back with Phoenix as well, and I go way back with Ryan Justice, Nolan Phillips. I've run into him, I've come across him a few times. We've always been cordial. So, but yeah, I guess I won't get into too much sports ball. I haven't really gotten into like the VTubers, but I want to comment about the whole Cyrax universe, the Raxoverse is what it's called. And there's a new player in the game, and he's been making videos and, you know, and calling out Cyrax. And if you're not familiar with Cyrax, this guy, he is just as ugly on the inside as he is on the outside. He's a little goblin man who lives in his grandma's attic up in Ohio, and he shouts at trolls and he gets mad, and he has, you know, the delusions of grandeur, and it's just to see the levels that this little creepy man goes to be like, and then he gets trolled relentlessly, and he gets a rage baited something terrible. And the latest chapter of the Raxoverse involves a YouTuber named John, and John, really great guy. Shout out John, by the way. Shout out John. Shout out to Southern Harlot, and shout out to William Gloryhole, which oh man, those three, I mean, you're fighting the Hydra there, Cyrax. You might as well just cut your losses and get off the internet. But no, John's been really hitting a stride as of late, and he has been absolutely just he's had Cyrax on panels a few times, and like, here's the thing is, like, if Cyrax would just listen, he would just he would just shut his mouth and open his ears, and then maybe take some criticism. Maybe, just maybe, like, he can learn something within that, you know, bulbous head of his, with the skull scratches, and he's got a really nasty skullet, and I mean, he can't eat right, he can't swallow right. But, like, he projects really bad. He treats his friends like just utter dog crap. Or, I mean, we'll just say it. He treats them like dog shit. And he treats women even worse. He's not very educated. The high school he was at, and eventually kicked him out because he was there until he was like 23. I know that goes to show how much I know about the Cyrax lore. I could talk about the Dark Side Phil stuff, but Phil's been really kind of quiet. But the Cyrax universe is really lit up just because of John and coming in. He does like little late night streams. It kind of reminds me of when Bay Shaman would jump on and he would comment on the latest from Cyrax, and he would also bring up like he would do live streams, and you'd actually, like, you know, you can donate to him. You can shoot him like a little dono, and then he pops he plays your music, and he has Cyrax dance to the music of your choice. Or either that, or he has like Daniel Larson, who's like another lolcow who's currently in prison because he decided to make threats to the FBI and the White House and all these wonderful things, which are not so wonderful. I advise, please don't do that. Please don't. I mean, serious face, just please don't. But like Cyrax is, you know, he's just a goblin man. He's just a little goblin man who likes to rage bait, and then there's all these things that pop up, which is like Goblin Tales, and I think they just released a new episode of Goblin Tales on YouTube just the other day. But yeah, like, you know, Cyrax, he uses every single slur in the book, and oh my gosh, like, it's so easy to rage bait him. But the problem is he doesn't listen. He just opens his mouth and he doesn't stop, and it's just, eventually you get word vomit after a while. If you keep running your mouth and you don't listen and you don't take feedback, and you know, you're just in this perpetual loop because you're like, you know, you act like an internet tough guy, and then you're like, oh, I wish people would leave me alone. Like, you did it to yourself. you got to take responsibility every now and then. You got to say, that's my bad. My bad. You know, yeah, and cut your losses. You know, I mean, he keeps on coming back as like his different personas, and I think a couple other times he came back as a VTuber, and that went as well as kind of like about as well as a wet fart in church. I shouldn't say that since it's on a Sunday, but yeah, I did notice the other day that Kino Casino, so shout out to Triple P and Andy Worski, they kicked out like a Twilight Zone episode of Darkside Phil, and it was called The Dented Zone, and they did this really interesting deal where because honestly, all the detractors are kind of, and Darkside Phil, for, just to fill people in, if you're watching this for the first time and you're like, who the heck is Darkside Phil? Darkside Phil used to be a prominent Let's Play YouTuber. He did almost everything imaginable wrong, from, anti-Semitic remarks, to just being as gross and toxic. I can't English today. I'm sorry. As gross and toxic as you could be, it's just like pure vitriol. Like at one point, like he accepted the nickname of the King of Hate, and like he's not even a really good video gamer, but he says, "Well, I'm a pro video gamer." No, you're not. No, you're not. So like, yeah, Phil just doesn't get it, and he's in his own city of delusion, to quote Muse. But yeah, like it's really, I tell you what, man. But yeah, they came out with like a parody, because like a lot of the detractors don't know, like, because like the donations and I think another cardinal sin that he does, and he does on repeat, like all the time during his streams, because he streams like twice a day. He does like a morning stream, he does a night stream. And he's lied to his fans on numerous occasions. On too many to count. He spends all of his money that people send to him, because he e-begs, and on the internet, e-begging's that's not the way to go. You can kindly ask for like donations, but don't push it like every other minute. Guys, I need you guys send me money. And especially if you're like a YouTuber and you're like, hey man, like I got really hit by the IRS. I'm behind on my taxes. I'd like to have help, but the problem is all that's going to be taxed again. And then, to take everything that people send you, like their hard-earned money, and to turn around and be like, and then, just blow massive amounts of money on a mobile game, and not even a good one at that, that gets people worn out. That's where you see like many detractors come on. You see like Duty streams. You see, and Duty, he's what they call a dent tractor. He's not very smart. He pumps out a lot of slop, and then he has to comment on every little thing. And then there's Snort Hogan, and then there's Raw Phil. There's some channels, and then there's like some really good channels. Shout out to Tractor Beam. Shout out to WPIG with ALT. Those people put in a lot of work into just kind of getting into the DSP lore, because Darkside Phil is just such a rabbit hole to go into. There's a documentary on YouTube that's probably, at this point, maybe about 10 years old, and there's already so much lore on Darkside Phil. I have a friend that started off as a fan of Darkside Phil. That's what got me pulled in, and he became a detractor. So yeah, like But he was one of the OGs, man. He could have been well off. He had a sizable audience. He would not change for the life of him. And he, instead of taking responsibility and getting better and learning from his mistakes, and yeah, you could have leaned into that. You could have leaned into your haters, and you could have said some, you could have kept saying some outrageous stuff. But then you wanted to be family friendly, and then you want to be a Let's Player. I mean, you can't be full of piss and vinegar, and then decide to go take a complete 180 and it'd be like, well, I'm a good guy. No. And then also he's a raging alcoholic. And then, he lives in squalor. The guy doesn't get it. And then he thinks it's a reward if people pay him enough to meet daily goals, like goals per stream. Like he sets it like $150, and then he begs and he cries and he whines about not getting money, and then he turns around and he says, well, you're the problem, you don't pay me. And that's just so ridiculous, man. Just so stupid. And maybe one of these times, like on Unfiltered, I'll bring on somebody that's really into Darkside Phil, and we just talk about Darkside Phil the entire time and really dive deep into that lore. But no, like the latest thing was like just they went forward in time, and then Phil, who was played by Warski, Phil is just, and Phil has said so much stuff over the years, because all he does is rant and rave and cry and complain about, guys, I really need that money. I really need that money. So he'll probably keep doing it until he's dead. Or he, the epiphany arrives where I can't keep doing this. I may have to go find a job. But, but do check out The Dented Zone by Kino Casino. It's really, really good. It's really good. Very, very much. I enjoyed it. Gosh, what else have I really caught up on as of late? Not much is in terms of VTubers or what have you. Just trying to think. I think if I remember correctly, FaZe Connect is announcing another generation. They just kicked out a whole batch of invaders. So earlier this year in May. So if you're not familiar, for the uninitiated, FaZe Connect is a VTuber company, and VTubers are virtual YouTubers. They take on avatars of, cutesy anime girls, very over-designed anime guys, or shout out Lord Mollington, our British Lion Man friend, because he kind of keeps up with all that stuff. And I think what I've noticed is so FaZe Connect started off with maybe a handful of members in 2021, and now they've grown to not 1, 2, 3 full generations, 2 batches of invaders. So they went from about maybe about 5 talents to, I would say, probably close to 35 now. They've really ballooned. Spearheaded by Pipkin Pippa. So if anybody's a big fan of Pipkin Pippa, big shout out to the Pips, to the Capipolis, and then Mamie Tenma, who's the resident Rage Fox. She's really not she's not full of rage or anything. She plays a lot of games. She plays a whole bunch of different video games, and then And then she has she's a sweetheart. So that's what I've gotten from a lot of the Loomy Goomies in my interaction with the Loomy Goomies. And if you're just kind of have an inkling of curiosity, that's Conoco Loomy's fan base. So, but no, they ballooned, and earlier this year they brought in 3 new invaders. They brought in Mari Mari, who is probably the biggest name, one of the bigger names in the independent VTuber sphere. They brought in Cleo IT, and that's one of our dream guests. We would love to have Cleo on. So if anybody wants a clip and say, oh, hey, like, this podcast is interested in having you, Cleo, come on down. We'd love to have you. We'd love to talk wrestling. We'd love to talk journalism. We'd love to talk history. Right in my wheelhouse. So that invite is extended. And then finally, probably one of the more underrated talents there is out there is EP Sleepy. And Sleepy really likes guns. She really likes guns. She likes music. She makes her own music. She's into guns. And she's very cool. Very cool VTuber. And now Phase Connect, headed up by a guy that's essentially like a personification of a fish man. Like he's got like the head of a fish, and then he's got like the little flippers, but he wears a suit because he's the CEO of Sakana's Sad Girl Factory. Yeah, they used to have a reputation of being a whole bunch of sad girls, and then now they've mellowed out. They're not so menhera as the VTuber fans would call it. But yeah, it's a new generation coming out, that's exciting. That's huge. I really do think that eventually they'll get. Here's what I'm thinking: is you don't want to get too many VTubers. You don't want to get too many. You want to keep the core. I mean, and this is just kind of looking at it as in a business sense. Is I would look at this and be like, okay, all right, maybe my cap is 40. I've had very few, if any, graduations. Technically, like, there was one release and then one graduation, and everybody else has stuck around. I mean, there's been several talent that have taken hiatus, they've taken time off, and then they're welcomed back with open arms, and hey, that's great. Which is really cool. Big, whatever the Fishman is doing. And then also, if you're not so familiar, Phase Connect is a VTuber company that sells coffee, or conversely, it's a coffee company that sells you VTubers. So, take that as you will. But yeah, I know I can yap to myself for several hours, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet today. I was working on photos the last 2 nights, kind of kept me up a little late. And then what I got to do for the day job, I got to get up at like 6 in the morning, get ready to go, and it doesn't take me so long to get through traffic, but traffic is starting to be kind of a booger. Not one of my favorite things, like, is dealing with traffic. Although I've gotten used to it over the years, and drive. I mean, in Iowa, there's like virtually no traffic. You can get just about anywhere in no time, unless you're in Des Moines. Des Moines, maybe following Iowa State or Iowa games in Ames and Iowa City, respectively. But other than that, you don't really run into too much traffic. You don't run into traffic jams unless there's like heavy construction or special road work being done, or utility work being done. And usually by then, your detours and everything. Rapid City, I don't remember ever really getting bad. I just remember when the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally was going on. You just kind of stayed away from like the really touristy spots, just because there's always a ton of motorcycles out and about. Although, for those who don't know a ton about Sturgis, but they know of Sturgis, Sturgis is actually kind of seeing the crowds kind of dwindle a little bit. Maybe not so much biker crowds for the rally. I see a lot of more casual riders versus like the hardcore motorcycle gangs. And I think it's because like motorcycles like they used to be so much cheaper than like buying a car. So much cheaper just to go buy a motorcycle, and then you find people who also like motorcycles, and then you form a club over that, and then you go on rides, and you eat, drink, and be merry, and then every now and then you're gonna get into some trouble because there's some maybe pent up frustration at the world, and the best way to do it is be a rebel without a cause and ride a bike. But you're seeing a lot of that generation kind of die off, and a lot of the younger generations, they really just go to Sturgis really just for the music acts. It used to be where it's just like, you get a lot of rock, and now maybe you get some hip hop artists in there. You still get like some modern music artists. I think Jelly Roll was there. He was there when I was out there. And then, of course, Kid Rock. Nickelback will go out there. Like, it's kind of divorced dad rock now. But nothing too crazy. Nothing as far as I was like, there's still like shenanigans. There's still like, people going to jail just over being stupid. I remember my time in going down to Sturgis. I was there for the Sturgis TT, which is part of the American Flat Track. So what they do for American Flat Track is they do a course downtown. Downtown Sturgis becomes a literal racetrack, and they set up barriers and all this stuff. It takes them probably about maybe like a day and a half to construct all this stuff, which is kind of neat. And then they kind of like have an off-road path, where you can go off-roading and whatever. Really cool, and it's just with dirt bikes, and there's money involved, and really cool. But you don't see like the really prestigious like sponsors. I think the biggest sponsor out of that whole entire thing was a car dealership out of Dallas, and that was about it. So like Sturgis, in a way, has to think about, what happens when we start losing our motorcycle crowd? Do we need to appeal to more of like casuals? Do we need to look at, do we need to make it more of a music fest? And it's just, it's still underneath the name of the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. But do we just want to emphasize the music a lot more? Or do we want to emphasize special events? And I think that's what Sturgis is trying to do with the Sturgis TT, and that's what they're trying to do with all the music acts that they bring in. So that's the you either got to adapt and survive, or you die. I think a lot of speculation when I was up there was, they're going to try to make it to 100, and then they might morph it into something else, or they might evolve it in a way, which, I think that's fine. In Texas, there's not as much of a motorcycle culture here. Maybe anywhere that I haven't really seen. Most people really like their big trucks and the lift kits and the big mud tires and, the lack of mufflers. But I see more of a bike culture like up in Iowa and South Dakota, where you have a little more open space and maybe not much traffic. Because I know that the Abate Freedom Rally in Algona, Iowa, that takes place over the 4th of July. That's usually really popular. That's still popular, but even then, you don't see as many riders. You see more music enthusiasts, but that's like hardcore, like motorcycle riders. There are younger generations like my generation that are into bikes, but not enough. It's not as prominent as it was like in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, just because the bikes are getting priced out, and people my age can't afford motorcycles. Motorcycles are a luxury, where back then it was a cheaper alternative compared to a car, especially if you're a single angry white male. I mean, that's the general stereotype, but I mean, there's Hispanics that ride. There's I don't see as many blacks ride motorcycles, but I'm sure there's quite a few out there. Just like how there's black cowboys, man. That's awesome. And vaqueros, they've always been around. And then, of course, your traditional, John Wayne, your John Wayne stereotype, maybe not so much, Pilgrim and Pilgrim this and Pilgrim that, and I'll see you next Thanksgiving. But that's what's really cool about like kind of the rodeo culture, is it can be diverse when you go to the right places, especially like you see like the Brazilians go and really kill it as far as bull riding is concerned, which is really cool. I'm just waiting for like a really badass like Asian barrel racer, make barrel racing a big thing, because barrel racing's really fun. Rodeos, I grew up around rodeos. I'm not much of a rodeo person, but I do think that rodeo, it's not for the weak. And when I was growing up, I treated it like a spectacle. When I was in South Dakota and even here in Texas, it's looked at as a sport, but it wasn't for me. I can't see myself wear wear a Stetson. I mean, I'd like to wear it. Like, I'd like to have a Stetson. That'd be cool. And pair of cowboy boots. But I mean, I'm not willing to spend buku dollars on them. We'll get the cheap cowboy hat, like the cheap cheap straw hat from Amazon or from one of the sales tents at at a rodeo. But yeah, man, it's been good. I mean, just here for an hour. We're just chilling. I'm just probably about to close it up here pretty quick. Okay, my mouse decided to. There we go. My mouse decided to kind of quit on me. But yeah, man. But we got guests on tap. We have some things going. I know Rick is always interested in jumping on. So you will see Rick return to the podcast in due time, sooner rather than later. We'll also have a few more personalities hop on. I know I'd love to have Thugless on sometime. I got a few other people in mind, especially my sports ball people. I just know that like Kale, he usually does, I shouldn't, peer behind the curtain too much, but he works on the podcast on Sunday so they can kick it out first thing Monday morning, and you just listen to it on your Monday morning commute. They pretty much recap the weekend. And then what was really cool was Kale was over in Norman, Oklahoma, to check out Ben Arbuckle, who is he is a Canadian native, a West Texas A&M alum, former quarterback, if you will, and then he was a grad assistant at Houston Baptist. He got to know Zach Kitley. Then he started bouncing around. He went over to Western Kentucky. He went over to from Houston Baptist to Western Kentucky. Did really well with quarterbacks like Bailey Zapp. I think it's Zapp or Zappy, one of the two. But he ended up playing in the NFL a little bit. And then he ended up going to Washington State as the offensive coordinator, and he worked with Cam Ward, who's now starting quarterback at Washington State. Okay. So Rick tells me it doesn't have to be wrestling for me to guess. I love to talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, comic collecting, movies, TV shows, politics, South Park. What do you need? Whatever you need, I'm here. I appreciate you, Rick. I would love to talk about the MCU. We'll talk about it soon. Comic books, heck yes. I think what was it? The other day, what was it, a few episodes ago, where we got talking about our game stores and our comic book shops. I think there's still some comic book shops that's still around. Ed knows a little bit more than I do, but I digress. Yeah, we need to do that sometime. Definitely, for sure. Anywho, where was I? But yeah, like Ben Arbuckle, he mentored Cam Ward, who ended up being really great at Miami, and then he ended up getting drafted first overall into the NFL draft. He's now starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans, and now Ben is working with John Mateer, as who's a star quarterback for the Sooners, and Ben is the offensive coordinator in the SEC of all conferences, which is that's a really big deal for you non-sports ball people. That's a huge deal. I ran into his older brother last night, and he was his older brother's an official, and he was giving Kale giving him a hard time. So he was like, "You need to quit kissing my little brother's ass, my little brother's butt," and which I think it's so good, and yeah, Kale and the Arbuckle family, they've known each other forever. I remember the dad would give Kale a call and just talk about random stuff. Maybe not so much the weather, but he'd talk about how Canadians doing and stuff like that. So. But yeah, man, it's good stuff. Yeah, very cool. If you're curious about the music, it's called the Relaxed Movement. I have it's essentially 12 hours of free background music for creators and streamers. So I like this. This is nice. It's very chill. But yeah. I know I say that a lot. Maybe I should make that into a t-shirt. But yeah. I don't know. I always thought about doing some cool t-shirts. Maybe we'll do some t-shirts down the line. Maybe not with my ugly mug or with Ed's ugly mug on there. And I can get away with saying ugly mug because I was making fun of myself as well as Ed. Maybe we'll have something else and it'll be really cool. Maybe we'll have we'll have a catchphrase. But yeah, I think I'm gonna close up shop. I'm gonna keep it about an hour. I could probably only hold. I was the back's starting to kind of be starting to tighten up a little bit. It's okay, all right, Tyler, I think you need to put on the BioFreeze and the Tiger Balm and just take it easy. Take a nap. Why don't you? I know I got to work on some things later on tonight, but I can wait on those. But cool deal. Rick, hey, thanks, man. Thanks for popping in and keeping me company. You know I appreciate you. I actually gotta tell Rick something after stream. It's nothing bad. Just something someone I encountered the other day when I was working the day job. So nothing but praise, nothing but good things, nothing but good things. So, but yeah, that I think that'll do it for episode 9. We had a we had a very relaxed live stream, very relaxed show today, very chill, very demure, very meaningful, and it shows that, man, I can yap for an hour and still have a lot of fun. Each time I get on here, it's a privilege. It's an honor and a privilege. You know, I'm really blessed to be able to build a computer that can allow me to do this, and the technology is available for me to do this. So we've come a long way. Beats the days of like dial-up internet. As a little side story, my dad was one of the first people in our little part of the world to get broadband, because he didn't want to deal with, like, you know, turning off the phone so we can get on the internet. And when you had broadband, you could, or DSL, you could have the phone line and you can have the internet. I know, totally 90s, early 2000s, but yeah, it was really cool. And my dad was like an early adopter at that time. I mean, I remember Dad having a cell phone once they started getting really popular in the mid 90s. I remember, and Dad had an old cell phone number forever, and I still keep it in my phone. Okay, all right. Well, until next time, you know, thank y'all so much for tuning in to us each and every week. I know we took a little bit of a break. We did a little bit of a detour with SCP Hangover, but it was good. It was good. It's good to get like some guests on, some fresh faces that are really interested in and hanging out with us and talking with us for about an hour, even if they're just being like, I'm going to be on for about an hour and then I'm going to go eat something. It's like, by all means, go eat. I'll close down the show. I'll close down shop with, I mean, you don't have to worry one bit. But, and I see Ed popped on. Hi, Ed. I decided to give you the day off today. And, we'll be back to full strength next week. Yeah, he's in ninja mode. Okay, ninja mode. Are you kind of hiding your eyes, kind of like this? Just kind of. I don't know if I can do it that right. Yeah, it's like you hide your face. Oh, are you a ninja? Okay. Oh, I see ya. I was just about to wrap up. Do you want to hop on just for a second? Okay, all right. He's nodding his head yes. Let's bring him on. Okay, all right. Let's make sure. Hold on. Okay. Okay, all right. We're going to play with this a little bit. I have you muted, so you're okay. Okay. Yeah. Hold on. We'll get you. We'll get you. Okay. I know, he's dancing. There he is. Okay. All right. You're unmuted. You're on. Hi, Ed. Okay. I hear you. Oh, hold on. There we go. Much better. There we go. I got you. Hi. You're still muted. And your volume's all the way up. Hold on. Yep, your volume's up. You're good. Okay, check your settings real fast. No, nothing? wait, hold on. Let me check my stuff real fast. We'll refresh it. Okay. All right, try it now. No bueno, I can't hear you. Yeah, you're unmuted in Video Ninja. You're unmuted. And then, yep. I can see the bar go up and down. Yep, I can see the bar. I just don't hear anything. It's okay. We got music. We got music in the background, so we're not playing to just dead air. Oh, no, it's fine. Yep. Oh, that's okay. No worries. I was gonna... Oh, yeah. Hey, apology accepted. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I held down the fort for like about an hour. So, I was just, yeah, better late than never. Better late than never. I know. I mean... Yeah. How about, let's see the audio settings again. Okay, I got everything on. No mic delay. You should be okay. Yeah, check your microphone real quick. Okay. All right. Let's see. I see HyperX Quadcast 2. Is that it? Okay, yeah. No bueno. That's fine. That's fine. But I'm glad that you joined. Better late than never. Yep. Yep. We're cool. Ed is the silent guardian today. Wakanda forever. Okay. Oh, wait. He's got something. This reminds me of like the Red Green skits where like there's Bill. And Bill is a silent character, but he's very animated. And yeah, it's they're great skits, by the way. He's checking. The light bulb went on. I saw it. Oh, Renaissance Fair for October 11th and 12th in Amarillo. Great. Oh, it's in Thompson Park. We might have to go check that out. Do you get it? Okay. You're clapping. I still don't hear you. Okay. Don't worry about you. Okay. I mean, we could play charades for another half hour, I suppose. But no. Hey, before we go, I know we kind of did a little bit of what wrestling fans would call falsy. I saw Ed pop on, and I was like, okay, all right, we'll extend the show. We can do this. But I mean, I still have the flyer, which is October Slam. Check it out, October 11th, Mano Negra Brewing Company in Lubbock, 7 p.m. on Saturday. So if you're in Lubbock, check it out. If you are in Amarillo, there's a Renaissance Fair. That's at Thompson Park. I might have to check that out. Ed's definitely going. And how much is it to get in? Okay, 24 bucks for the day. That's not too bad. I take it like you get like your, I mean, you know, it'd be so cool if they did jousting. Okay, 90. Ooh, with dinner with the king. Man, I wonder who the king is gonna be. Kind of reminds me of like the the whole what was it, the gimmick in King Richard the Third. No, King Richard the Lionheart. Maybe the not so Lionheart. Just let me know when just let me know. Yeah. Do you want me to take it away now? Oh, okay. Oh, look at website. Okay. Do we have a website? Hold on. Let's check it out. Renaissance Fair, Amarillo. Let's check it out. It's called the Cottonwood Fair. It's a history festival. Well, that's kind of neat. Okay, hold on. We'll do the shared screen for a second. There we go. There it is. I know you're seeing all my other stuff, but it's really not that bad. Okay, cool. What's the schedule looking like? Oh, it's in a PDF. Okay, so they got a main stage. They got King's Court, and they got the VIP. So they're building a castle. There's VIP options. Oh, they got folk singers. That's cool. They got a concert. A dragon salsa eating prelim. I bet you. Okay, so the castle's built. That's kind of neat. They should build a permanent castle. That'd be cool. Yeah, permanent castle. Heck yes. Who else would expect like a medieval castle in Amarillo, Texas, of all places? But anywho, Cirque La Vie. Okay. Cirque La Vie, is that how I pronounce it? Okay, Misty Posey. Okay. Dragon Salsa Eating Final. Ooh, that actually kind of sounds really good. I mean, my mouth would be burning in like prelim on Saturday, finals on Sunday. Oh, okay, so I'm looking at the Sunday schedule. Okay, neat. Then you do the royal feast to end the day. Oh, you do a knighting ceremony? You could do sword lessons with the king. That's pretty cool. That's really neat. So they just have like 2 different areas. Okay, I see. That's cool. That's really neat. I don't know. What day do we need to go? Do we need to go Saturday? Do we need to go Sunday? Oh, they got a strongman competition. Oh. Okay, you're going Saturday. Okay. So if anybody sees this and you're going to the Renaissance Fair, the Cottonwood Fair, go say hi to Ed. Ed will probably be dressed up. Yeah, he's going to be dressed up. Okay, that's cool. Let's see the origin story real quick. Okay, what's the map look like? Oh, that's cool. So it's actually like right here, and then they got everything right there. Oh, that's neat. And then yeah, then it's got like the parking in Wonderland. Oh, that's neat. That's really cool. And then you got a mead. There's like 2 mead stations. There's a strongman station, main stage, tavern, arena of champions. Is that jousting? I'd presume that'd be jousting, wouldn't it? And then the playground. That's really cool. That's neat. That's really cool. So much mead. King Richard said, oh, so much mead. So much mead. You get drunk off the mead. Okay. All right, cool. What do we got for activities for grown-ups? All right, there's the schedule. Okay, and then Strongman, musical performances. That's cool. Live action role play. So you hang out with some LARPers. That's cool. I wonder if they're ever going to do like a steampunk festival. That'd be kind of cool. I know that just kind of came in my head. I was like, oh man, that would be so neat. Okay, there is an immersive story to it. Okay. There's food trucks. There's dancing and entertainment. You visit their guild and go... Okay, so you have one of 3 factions will help shape the kingdom. You visit their guild and go from there. Okay, that's neat. That's cool. What do they got for the kiddies? Oh, the food. They got face painting, hair braiding, and shopping. Well, I mean, that's not so much a kiddie. I mean, shopping's not really for a kiddie thing. Okay, well, that's really cool. Hey, yeah, if you need something to do, there's a Renaissance fair. What do they got for shops? Circus is for kids and dancing. Ah, okay, gotcha. All right. Okay. Ooh, you can have a royal court. The king can knight you. Oh, that's cool. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's really neat. What do they got for musical guests? Let's see. Oh man. Okay, it's just the same thing. All right. Allison Packard, Misty Mosley. She's a performer. So they got basically Allison Packard. Yeah, Packard. And yeah, Misty Posey. Okay, cool. And then they got known groups. Okay. Huh. Weapons policy. Okay. All right. Reclamation. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this is the groups. You gotta get your wife to stretch like that. I'm sure Kyle is gonna probably, respectfully disagree with that, but okay, for these individuals. Okay, all right, cool. Okay, so here's the faction. So one of them is Lion Guard, then the Thorn Crown Syndicate, and the Verdant Circle. Okay, that's cool. So they got Sir Ulrich the Bold. He's a veteran knight. He's got golden armor. And then we got Lady Seraphine Dawnspear. Okay, that's definitely like a... Her quote would be, oh, fuck no. Seraphine Dawnspear, that is totally a LARPer name. And then Captain Bramwell, a.k.a. The Shield. Okay. Okay, he's the commander. That's cool. Marcellus Vane. Okay, he's a silver-tongued merchant. Got Celine Blackthorn, and she sounds like maybe like a medieval version of Deep Throat, from All the King's Men. And then there was Garrick the Red Hand. Ooh, he's the enforcer. Ooh, where's my money? Okay, and then the Verdant Circle. This sounds like druids and elves. Okay, so Arendor Willowshade. He's an elder druid. That's cool. Thessaly Moonglow. She's a young. That sounds like a female. Sounds like a lady. A young seer whose eyes reflect the night sky. Ooh, okay. And then Kaylin Briarhand. Okay. Oh, cool. It's antlered. Living vines. Oh, man. That's cool. That's neat. Okay. Whew. Okay. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up, but yeah. We got stuff going on this weekend. We can make stuff happen. Okay. All right. Well, until next time. We'll be back at 2 p.m. on Sunday. Ed's being cute on the other side. We'll get Ed's audio issues figured out. Shouldn't be very hard. But yeah, got some guests on tap. We'll get some people in. We'll talk about the Ren Fair. I'll have Rick pop on and talk about the Lubbock Pro Wrestling 101 show. He'll be there. So if you see Rick in Lubbock for October Slam, be sure to say hello. Don't be too mean to him, because he's a big guy. But yeah, that'll do it for us. We're gonna rock and roll. Call it an early day. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Y'all be good, okay? All right. See y'all soon.
Yeah, let me guess that works. Jesus. It was you. Well, right now we'll just say good night and good thank you everybody anyway. Our Unfiltered